He assaulted her, and the court let him walk free. But she refused to let justice slip away. With her best friend by her side, she planned his end, luring him into a trap and killing him in cold blood. I'm Santa, and tonight I'll tell you how one girl turned her pain into the deadliest revenge. Her name was Emily Carter. 19 years old, quiet, modest, with a life that should have been ordinary. But one night changed everything. One man, Jason Miller, 24, tore her world apart. He forced himself on her, left her broken, and when she tried to fight for justice, she walked into a courtroom that betrayed her. Lawyers twisted the story. Witnesses were unreliable. The judge dismissed key evidence. Jason walked out smiling. Emily sat in the back of the court, numb, staring at the man who had destroyed her life and was now free. At first, she collapsed into silence. Weeks passed. She barely ate, barely slept. Her parents thought she would eventually heal, but Emily wasn't healing. Inside her, something darker grew. Every time she saw Jason laughing on the streets, every time she heard his name, the wound bled again. That's when she whispered to her best friend, Sarah, the words that would change both of their lives. If the law won't punish him, we will. Sarah hesitated. She was 18, loyal, protective of Emily, but not a killer. Still, as she listened to Emily replay the night of the attack, as she saw the haunted look in her friend's eyes, Sarah's hesitation hardened into resolve. Then let's make a plan, she said. The plan was simple, but dangerous. Jason had always liked parties, women, and alcohol. Sarah would reach out, pretending she wanted to hang out, maybe flirt a little, maybe suggest drinks at her place. Emily would wait there. Together, they would end his story. It began with a message. Sarah found Jason at a local bar, flashing his grin, surrounded by friends. She approached, played the part of the playful friend. Jason, arrogant and careless, welcomed her attention. Within days, she had his number. A week later, she invited him over. Jason, thinking nothing of it, agreed. The night came. Emily sat in Sarah's apartment, trembling but determined. A kitchen knife lay hidden beneath the couch. Duct tape and rope were tucked away in a drawer. Her heart pounded as she rehearsed the plan. Sarah would bring him inside, offer him a drink. Emily would strike when his guard was down. Jason arrived at 9 p.m. He smelled of cologne and cheap beer. He greeted Sarah with a smirk, stepped inside, and never saw Emily in the shadows. They talked, laughed, music played softly. Sarah poured drinks. Jason leaned back, relaxed. Then Emily stepped forward, knife in hand. His smile vanished. "What the hell?" he started, but the blade flashed. Emily lunged, rage pouring out of her. The struggle was brutal, chaotic, but Sarah joined in, holding him down. Jason's shouts turned to gurgles. Within minutes, the man who had laughed in the courtroom lay lifeless on the floor, his blood staining the carpet. The silence afterward was deafening. Emily dropped the knife, shaking, staring at what she had done. Sarah, pale, whispered, "It's over." But it wasn't over. They had a body to hide. Together, they wrapped Jason in a sheet, dragged him down the stairs, and loaded him into Sarah's car. It was heavy, awkward, terrifying. At 3 a.m., they drove into the mountains, a remote area they had chosen carefully. There, under the cold moonlight, they dug a shallow grave. The earth swallowed him whole. They covered the site with rocks and leaves, their hands trembling, their breaths ragged. Emily stood over the grave, whispering, "Now it's over." For a month, it seemed as if they had succeeded. Jason's friends assumed he had gone on another drinking spree. His parents grew worried, but Jason had a history of disappearing for days. Emily began to smile again, a hollow smile, but one that hadn't been seen since before the attack. Sarah tried to move on too, though nightmares haunted her. But Jason's parents wouldn't stay silent. After 4 weeks with no word, they filed a missing persons report. Police opened an investigation. They interviewed friends, retraced his last steps, and one detail emerged. The last person seen with Jason was Sarah. Detectives visited her apartment. They asked questions. Sarah tried to stay calm, insisting Jason had left after a short visit, but her nervousness showed. They searched her home and found faint traces of blood on the carpet, missed in their frantic cleaning. The breakthrough came when hikers reported a foul smell in the mountains. Police discovered a shallow grave, the body wrapped in a sheet. Dental records confirmed it. Jason Miller. Murdered. Buried. Detectives returned to Sarah. Faced with the evidence, she cracked. Tears streamed down her face as she confessed. She told them everything: how Emily had been assaulted, how the court had failed her, how Emily demanded revenge, how she had helped lure Jason to his death. Emily was arrested that night. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She looked the officers in the eyes and said, "He deserved worse." The trial was sensational. Prosecutors laid out the cold facts. Jason had been stabbed, overpowered, buried in the mountains. The defense argued Emily had been driven by trauma, by a system that had failed her. Sarah's testimony sealed their fate. She admitted her role, but emphasized Emily's determination, Emily's rage, Emily's plan. The jury deliberated for 3 days. The verdict: guilty. Emily received life in prison. Sarah, who cooperated with police, was given 20 years. In the courtroom, Emily showed no remorse. To her, justice had been served, even if it cost her freedom. Jason's parents wept, torn between grief for their son and the knowledge of what he had done to Emily. And the town was left divided. Some whispered that Emily was a murderer. Others said she was a victim who took justice into her own hands. But one truth was undeniable: the law had failed her, and she had written her own ending. This story isn't about heroes. It's about pain, betrayal, and the cost of revenge. Emily Carter's name will forever be remembered as the girl who turned from victim to killer. If you liked this story and don't want to miss the next episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support us, give this video a like. Tell me in the comments, was this justice or just revenge?